Shalom. I'm Rabbi Tilman of Congregation Beth Israel here in Scotch Plains. As I sit here and look out my window and see snow on the ground, I can't help but think about spring. I know it's not the usual, I just wish it were warmer, why isn't it spring yet feeling. It's because in our Parashat HaShavua this week, our weekly Torah portion, Parashat Bo, we learn of the mitzvah, the commandment, and many of our practices of Pesach, of Passover, Chag HaAviv, the holiday of spring. It's this week in Exodus chapter 12, we read that when God sees the blood on the doorposts of the Israelites, quote, God will pass over so that no plague will destroy you. This day shall be to you one of remembrance. You shall celebrate it as a festival to the Lord for all time. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread, matzah, and you shall remove chametz from your houses. Pesach and the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the exodus from Egypt, is in many ways the foundational narrative of the Jewish people. It defines much of our identity, our shared history, our collective practice. So much so that there's even a suggestion that the Torah should begin with this very chapter. When we look at the opening verses of the Torah, the creation of the world as described in Genesis, Rashi, one of the classical biblical commentators, asks the question, why does the Torah begin here with creation instead of Exodus chapter 12 from Parashat Bo, the chapter that gives us the mitzvot of setting the calendar and observing Pesach, among our very first commandments? Rashi eventually concludes we start with creation to show that all the world belongs to God, but even the suggestion of starting elsewhere has a lot to teach us. So where do we begin? Literally, that's the question to ask ourselves. We have individual beginnings, but our collective beginning, the beginning of Judaism as a religion, as a people, is in many ways right here with the Exodus from Egypt. We remember this moment in so many ways. We call back to it multiple times over the course of the year, even multiple times over the course of each week. Our identity, our history, our outlook all come back to our time as slaves in Egypt and eventually earning our freedom and earning our redemption. May the lessons of our collective memory, the lessons of our time in slavery, and ultimately the lessons of earning our freedom continue to inspire us in how we live and how we act in today's world. Wishing you all a restful and peaceful Shabbat Shalom.